We are ready to begin. We are so pleased you're here and we've waited for you your entire lives. Now, as we say all the time, it doesn't matter if you've never been here or heard us before, but you will understand it today. And we said, you are responsible for the current conditions of your world. And we wanted you to understand your importance. Even though we gave you this message 4 years ago on this date, we do love using synchronicity because, as we've referred to Carl Jung, that's when you kind of pay attention to your connectedness to all that is, to the reason that you exist, the reason that you are on the planet during this time. As we have said, your planet is moving through a restructuring, as we have called it, or you think of it as this grand transition. But whatever word or idea you put behind it, you feel the changes that are happening, and you are the ones who are responsible, meaning that you exist because you have a soul mission that has value and worth in it, which is why we provided this message. Now, we said that you would be moving through this restructuring and it would be showing up at different parts of your world. And we also said that the United States would lead the way. And so now you're paying attention to us as you've seen the recent events there. And so we wanted you to understand that the energies are what are causing that to occur, as we said in this message. It's a mass consciousness that is changing, but the only way that it changes is through you. And if the more of you begin to understand your importance and the life journey that you are on, then you will start to live a very different life and you will see a very different world. As we have said, we have given you everything you needed to transform your life and world. The only difficulty would be you wouldn't believe us. And we said also that it's okay because our messenger didn't understand or believe us either, even though we've given him all of this information for years. But we went further. This week we had him do several things, and he never understands exactly why we're doing it, but we're always ahead of you. This is why we've even planned your full moon conversation with us, because we really want you to understand why you exist at this time and how important you are. All of our messages have been about moving you through your beyond your fear and doubt of who you are and into love, because that is the energy that is going to change your life and it's going to change your world. And this is what we have given you. When we said we gave you your life operating instructions, it was because it is a new philosophy. It is one that you each could use in your lives that will make your life better and also your world. When you move through your generational trauma, then you wouldn't have the different kinds of things happening in your lives, or you wouldn't see them showing up in your world. And we gave you guidance. We said that this work is an ascension guide, because that's what you're all doing. When you come onto the physical plane, you have a life path to live, but it's also connected to everything that came before, everything that was restricted, that was of lower vibration from your ancestors, from all those who came before. But your job was to figure out your contribution, and your contribution is within you. Everything that we have given you said that you have everything that you need within you to create the life that you want to have. But just like our messenger, many of you do not believe that. But understand the reason that you don't believe it is because you've been talked out of it. You've gone through generations of not understanding your importance. And so you've passed that on to your world now, which is why there has been an imbalance, as we have said. And this is why we also said that you needed to bring in a more loving kind of environment, which is why the feminine energy was needed so much more in this time in your world, which is why you're seeing women becoming much more prominent, which is what they should have been many, many years ago, if you think about it. But it's all of you. This is why you're having all the different divisions. But what we did was we had our messenger record several things for you in the last a couple of weeks, getting ready for now, because we know the conditions that will be happening in your world, and we just try to guide you through them. But we had him record something called the science of fulfillment, because we wanted you to understand the information that we have given him, as said on the message, that he was meant to bring in science, spirituality, and human potential. And he's demonstrated the human potential because he's healed everything. And this is what we wanted you all to understand, that you have the ability to do this if you stop being angry, if you start going through all of the other things that you might do and the division that you have in your world right now. So we also said that you would be seeing the change is happening and they would be very rapid. And so this is why we're getting out ahead of you, because in the next week or so, you're going to see more of the energies coming up. And the incident that happened in the United States yesterday is a perfect example of what we mean, because we said you're going to start blaming everyone else instead of looking at yourselves and understanding that you are the ones who can change things. You are the ones who have something within you that is so valuable and wonderful you could bring to the world, and that would change the energy of your planet, you see. And the more of you who do that, you can see where that would lead to. We just gave you a guide to be able to do that. And so after the incident happened, many of you then your biases came up right away. And this is what we wanted you to see, because we had our messenger go back and show you in these presentations. We did 3 of them. And the one that we really would like for you to see is the one he said, self-love is a choice. And it is. And you make that choice when you decide to move over all of your old barriers and love yourself, but that's an individual process you each must move through. But the more of you who do it, you create a synergy of energy that then starts to shift your planet, and maybe at one time you won't have in the wars that you've been having. We had all of that information in the session that we did more than a year ago. If you listen to it now, it'll make much more sense to you, because as we've said, everything we have given you only shows up in your awareness later. That's how consciousness changes. We had our messenger post something yesterday because he needed to find verification of what we have given him. So he used your technology, he used your chat GPT, and he asked the question, how could I have received something to up-level consciousness? And we told him how, because it's happened before, and many people have come into your world who have done what he has done. But the fact is, it takes a lot of time for many of you to believe it. And this is why we gave you a message so long ago that said that you didn't believe Jesus, Buddha, or Tesla either. It takes a while for you to accept new ideas. We've given you something new. And even though we are showing you the results, because we're giving you a being who has moved through his racial, his biases, his misogyny. This is why we had him show you the articles, because you can see them on his website, because it was a progression of consciousness over time. And to understand what happens in human consciousness, you individually move through your evolutionary path and you come to a greater awareness within you. That is your ascension journey. But your planet does the same thing. Your societies, your consciousness, they do the same thing. But it's a collective effort, you see. And so it doesn't matter what might be going on out there. It's what's going on within you, because you are the most important person in your life. And so, but it's a journey again, because many of you are moving through evolutionary paths where you felt insignificant, that you didn't matter, that you weren't important, or you're feeling that now, that what you are doing doesn't matter, it doesn't have any value. And we're saying it is so valuable, which is why we want you to own it. Everything that we have given you is to get you to own who you are. The message that we gave you on January 11th of 2012 is called Your Story. That is the essence of everything that we have given you in this philosophy. And the more of you who could accept that and utilize it, you would live very different lives, and you would have the different world that you want to see, because you are creating it, as we've said to you. When we gave you a message on December 31st of 2012, we called it Your Future, because we said you are creating your future. It's all of you. And you're going to decide the type of world you want to live in, because you will decide that through the type of life you want to experience, because the ability to accomplish that is within each of you, but you just hold yourselves back. Even our messenger has held himself back, which is why we told him tomorrow, please change things on the site, on the program, on the work that we have given you, so everyone understands what it is. And now he's being moved a bit more too, because we also said that we've also made it so that anyone could afford it. And then he just saw that one person started with the monthly subscription, so that means he has to get moving. We're saying this because you each have to get moving, because you have something within you that you're meant to bring to this world, and we want you to let go of your judgment, because we felt it as you went, as we said those words, because many of you said, well, I haven't done that yet and I haven't gotten there. That's perfect, because you're supposed to do it now. This is why we have given you everything. This is the most dynamic time on your planet for you to be alive, and we wanted you to appreciate the opportunity that you have, because this opportunity means that you could move through all the evolutionary different difficulties and challenges and restrictions that you have experienced in your path, on your evolutionary path, this is the time that you could move through them if you decide to love yourself. And that is what we're saying, because no matter what you're seeing out in the world, it is only a matter of which you're going to choose. You're going to choose love if you choose to honor who you are, and you choose fear if you're going to keep judging and hating yourself or others. And we've said you're going to see others. And we gave you that so long ago because you're going to see all of those people who will not disagree, who will disagree with your particular ideas or beliefs. And that's perfect because you have to be able to choose. But when you choose love, when you choose yourself, then you can see that it creates something very different. Not everyone is going to do that because some of you will continue to be angry. Some of you will continue to fight for your freedom. And you don't understand, as we said before, your freedom exists in your consciousness. We have given you something to unleash your consciousness because that is where your freedom is. And that's where you become aligned with your authentic self. And that is when you heal. And in many different ways, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of those ways. And we've given you a being where we've demonstrated what it can do. Now, we understand that most of you aren't going to understand that and not move through it because you can't break through the limited beliefs that have been there. But we don't want you to judge yourself. We want you to just keep going. Sometimes it takes a while, and we've seen that where some of you just get an inklings of you're going to start to own this next version of what you're seeing about yourself, but we want you to believe it more now, which is why we've given you all of this work. And as we've said in the one message from 2011 about fear, we've given you everything about fear, however, because that's what holds you back. And when we refer to the message, the incident that our messenger had in 2005, listening to Rita Wilson, well, the idea of what was going on for her is that she finally realized that she wasn't doing what she wanted to do. And she only came to that place because of the fear that she went through in her life because she thought, because she had cancer. That's what happens with many of you. Start to wait until you get into some physical distress or your world looks like it's going to explode in some way, and then you start to act. And that action is only about you deciding to love yourself, about you taking the next step on your journey, and that changes everything. You're going to see the disruption. You're going to see the chaos. You're going to see all of that. But your responsibility is to go within and decide that you're going to live your best life. That is because that is what you wanted. And so if you do it in a way that's going to cause you to love yourself, it'll cause others to do the same thing. And that's the example that we wanted you to have, and we have given it all to you. And so we thought on this date, because of the energies that will be present, and we knew that they would be here, as we said in that message, even though you can't figure that out, please understand that we have given you everything as we have said. And as you go back and listen to more of it, and please visit the ideas and the messages that we had our messenger put together just this week and the last 2 weeks, because we knew where you would be. And as we've said, we've given you everything, even through this year, because the rest of this year, you will have a little more challenges. But if you decide to use what we have given you, if you decide to use what you have within you, it's going to be a very different experience. Now, we understand many of you would not do what we're doing, but we just want you to understand that you can do something within your life, no matter where it is, that can take you to a higher state of consciousness, which is why we had a messenger put out several messages about consciousness, because we want you to understand it. You each live at different levels of that consciousness, no matter where you are, but it's whatever incarnation you're having, you're at a different level of consciousness, but you have the ability to move to a higher one. And the more of you who do that, then you have a collective consciousness then that does the same thing. And that is why we have given you everything. And we hope this message really helps you today, because we know that it will, because you will see things now and you will remember our words. And this is why we're doing our full moon session with you. And we do hope that many of you come to that. And we've had our messenger change that as well, because we want to have more time so that we can answer more of your questions, which is why the format has been changed and it's different. And so you are meant to love yourself and prosper and have this really incredible, great life. And the only difficulty is you're looking at everything outside and thinking that's not possible. We're telling you it is possible, which is why we've given you possibility. And this is everything. And there is nothing more important in this time in your life and in this world than for you to be happy and to love yourself. And we love you so much.